The Superbread, my goodness, this knife feels unfair. It's such an incredible design. The two killer features on the Superbread that personally made me fall in love with it is the style of serration and the blade profile. The incredible knife makers at New West KnifeWorks have created a wave grind serration on this knife. And what that translates to is these scalloped edges. And what you notice when you pick up and use this knife is the fact that those serrations are actually asymmetric. And so they're more heavily pronounced on one side of the knife, which leads to an incredibly fine edge that you can achieve with the Superbread. And so what New West KnifeWorks talks about a lot is the fact that folks use this for proteins a lot, which you wouldn't traditionally see with something like a bread knife. So slicing through like flank steak or brisket or pork shoulder, as long as you're slicing through the grain, this is actually going to hold up great and not leak all the juices out in the same way that your normal bread knife would kind of like saw through that and juices would end up all over the place. And so we talked about the scalloped serrations already, the fact that these are going to last longer. It's not going to have that jagged saw effect that develops on other bread knives that you might have used in the past. And what I love about this is the fact that you're going to get more longevity out of this knife. Because New West KnifeWorks does the edge themselves, you can send the Superbread back to New West, they'll re-up the edge on it, and they'll send it back good as new. The Superbread also totally works if you're going through more fibrous vegetables, think like celery or leeks. In the summertime, if you're a big bell pepper or tomato person, the Superbread is actually big enough and has that blade profile to be able to knock out a bunch of those tasks. Speaking of blade profile, a lot of bread knives are long and short. New West KnifeWorks took a look at that and they said, well, most tasks that you're going to do with this don't need a 10-inch long bread knife. And on top of that, you want a little bit of knuckle clearance, and so why don't we take the 9-inch chef knife blade profile and actually have that be the foundation of the Superbread. And so you have that exact same spine tapering, you have all of the same details, almost the same weight to it as well, and they made it into a knife that stands on its own with that serration that they've added. The serrations do cover the entire length of the blade, and what I think is actually so brilliant about this is they've left a straight edge towards the tip. And so take that tomato example that I talked about earlier. If you need to take the stem out of a tomato, you actually have the ability to do so with like a more delicate tip on the Superbread. You've already heard me talk about the CPM S35VN steel, which does rock that 58 to 60 Rockwell hardness rating, as well as that incredible combination of toughness, edge retention, and stain resistance so you can keep on cutting. This one you see here does have the G Fusion handle with that aerospace grade G10 fiberglass composite. This comes in a range of different creative color palettes as well as a more minimalist black. If natural materials are more your preference, I recommend you check out the Desert Ironwood, which is incredibly sturdy and does have that more natural wood tone. Every single piece of this process is both sourced and made in the USA, supporting American manufacturing. And I almost forgot to mention every single product that you're going to hear me talk about is backed by New West KnifeWorks 100% performance satisfaction guarantee, as well as includes that free lifetime sharpening. New West KnifeWorks is helmed by Corey Milligan, a chef turned knife maker who works with incredible artisans and actually empowers a lot of the knife makers to do a lot of the hand finishing that you're gonna enjoy. The spine beveling details, if it's a knife that you happen to use a pinch grip with, it's gonna be incredibly comfortable because you're not gonna have any harsh edges up on the spine. And those details really come through from the materials to the finishing to all of the features that are included with the end use in mind. For a comprehensive overview and comparison of the New West KnifeWorks G Fusion line, that is available for you to watch next. It's either right below this video or right here on screen.